The story begins on a subway train, where a homeless man is sitting quietly by himself. Everything seems peaceful until a group of young thugs enters the train. As soon as they step inside, they start pushing people around and bump into two passengers on purpose. It is obvious that they are looking for a fight. One of the passengers pulls out a gun to scare them away, but the gang's leader, Anton, is not afraid at all.
Huh? You want to see a real gun?
Anton and his friends threaten the two men so badly that they quickly leave the train without fighting back. After that, Anton tells his friends that they are going to move some weapons later this week. Then he notices the homeless man sitting alone. Thinking he will be an easy target, Anton walks over to him and tries to steal his bottle of alcohol, but the moment he reaches for it, the homeless man grabs Anton's hand and holds it so tightly that he cannot pull it away. This is when we learn that this man is not an ordinary homeless person. His name is John Reese, and he is a former special agent who has survived many dangerous missions. Anton struggles to free his hand, but John does not even move. After a few seconds, John lets go on his own. Even then, Anton refuses to back off. He starts making fun of John
I have to teach you about sharing.
and says that he did not bring enough alcohol for everyone in the group.
And bring enough for the whole group.
These young guys have no idea who they are messing with. They surround John, thinking they can easily beat him, but in the very next second, John moves with incredible speed. He breaks one man's arm, punches another, kicks them where it hurts the most. In only a few moments, all 5 thugs are lying on the ground, completely defeated. Soon, the police arrive and take everyone, including John, to the police station.
I'll need a statement from the bum.
There, Officer Carter watches the security footage of the fight. After seeing how easily John took down all 5 men, she walks into the room where he is being held. Smiling, she jokes that he should have hit those troublemakers a few more times because they deserved it. Carter tries to start a conversation,
But you don't learn how to fight like that in the regular army.
but John stays completely silent. Since he refuses to talk, Carter comes up with a smart plan to find out who he really is. She offers John a fresh cup of water and carefully hands it to him. Instead of holding the cup from the outside like a normal person, she touches it from the inside so her own fingerprints will not be left on it. Once John drinks from the cup, Carter quietly takes it away
Of course, some other guys I knew.
and sends it to the forensic department. The forensic team scans the fingerprints left on the cup and compares them with the police database. A few moments later, they discover the truth. The homeless man's real name is John Reese. His fingerprints have appeared at several crime scenes, and he also has active arrest warrants in 4 different countries. It is clear that this mysterious man has a long and dangerous past.
Your guy's prints were found at half a dozen crime scenes over the years.
Officer Carter wants to question him even more, but before she gets the chance, a mysterious lawyer suddenly arrives and gets John released. The lawyer then takes John to meet his employer, a wealthy and very intelligent man named Harold Finch. As soon as they meet, John realizes that Harold already knows almost everything about him. Harold knows about John's past, his work as a special agent, and even the fact that John has been drinking every day because he no longer cares about his own life.
Don't worry, I'm not going to tell anybody about you.
Harold tells John that what he really needs is not another drink. What he needs is a new purpose and a reason to live. To explain his idea, Harold takes John to the middle of New York City. Looking at the busy streets, he tells John that someone dies every 18 hours in New York because of violent crimes. Then he asks him an important question.
What if you could?
What if we could stop those crimes before they even happen? Harold reveals that he has access to a special list that gives him the names of people who are about to be involved in a violent crime. He then shows John the name of a woman called Hanson and says that something dangerous is about to happen involving her. The only problem is that the list never tells them whether that person is going to be the victim or the criminal.
She might be the victim, she could be the perpetrator.
That is why Harold wants John to follow Hanson. But John does not believe a single word. He thinks Harold is just another rich man who is secretly spying on his ex-girlfriend. Without taking the offer seriously, John simply turns around and walks away. However, Harold's men immediately step in and try to stop him, but John defeats all of Harold's men in just a few seconds and walks away without any trouble. Later, John checks into a hotel and shaves his beard to completely change his appearance. That night, Harold tricks him by playing a recording of a murder that happened 3 years earlier in the hotel room right next to John's. Harold calmly tells him that he is too late to save that victim. Then, he says something even more personal. He tells John that he was also too late to save Jessica. The moment John hears Jessica's name, he becomes furious. We now learn that Jessica was the woman John truly loved, but he lost her. John angrily asks Harold how he knows about her.
What the hell do you know about it?
Harold simply tells him that it is the truth. He explains that if John works with him, they can stop innocent people from dying in the future. John realizes that Harold may actually be right, so he finally agrees to help him. Harold then takes John to his secret operations center. There, John notices something strange. Harold's list does not contain people's names. Instead, it only shows their social security numbers.
These are social security numbers.
This means they first have to discover who the person is before they can stop the crime. John immediately starts investigating Hanson's case. After digging through different records, he finds two people who could be connected to her. The first is a lawyer named Wheeler. He works with Hanson, and the two used to be in a relationship before she broke up with him. The second suspect is a dangerous gangster named Pope.
Pope's on trial for killing his friends in a drug deal gone bad.
Hanson was the prosecutor who sent him to prison, so he also has a reason to hate her. To learn more, John secretly follows Hanson everywhere she goes. Soon, he attends Pope's court hearing, where Detective Fusco is giving his testimony. After the hearing ends, Hanson becomes angry with Fusco because he said things in court that were not part of the plan. Later, Hanson visits Pope in prison. She tells him that she no longer believes he is guilty of the murder he was convicted for. John is secretly listening to their conversation through a microphone hidden inside Hanson's phone.
House when that 911 call was made.
During the talk, he learns that Pope has a younger brother named Michael, whom he is desperately trying to protect. John starts putting the pieces together. It looks like Pope confessed to a murder he did not commit. He did it because Michael had witnessed the real killers, and Pope wanted to keep his brother safe from them. The next day, Wheeler secretly enters Hanson's office while she is away. He searches through her computer, looking for information about Michael. After seeing this, John starts thinking that Wheeler may also be hiding something. That same night, the real criminals reach Michael before anyone else can. Luckily, John arrives just in time. He fires a grenade launcher at their truck, stopping them before they can escape. After a short fight, John rescues Michael and also takes a few police badges from the attackers. When he looks at the badges, he makes a shocking discovery.
Cops, come on.
The men chasing Michael are actually dirty cops. John starts watching them closely and soon learns that they are working together with Detective Fusco. John wants to know where Harold's mysterious list really comes from. Harold finally decides to tell him the truth. He explains that after the 9/11 attacks, the government hired him to build a powerful machine that collects information from cameras, microphones, and other systems across the country. The machine watches everything and can predict when violent crimes are about to happen. The machine creates two different lists. The first list is for possible terrorist attacks, and the government receives that information. The second list contains ordinary violent crimes that the government considers unimportant.
The machine erases it.
Harold could not ignore those innocent people, so he secretly built a back door into the system. Through it, he receives the second list. However, the machine only gives him social security numbers, so he and John must investigate each case themselves to find out who is in danger and who is behind the crime. John continues working on Hanson's case because he still believes she is the next victim. But soon, everything changes. John discovers that Hanson is actually working with the dirty cops. Even worse, those same corrupt officers murdered Pope inside his prison cell the previous night to make sure he could never tell the truth. After that, Hanson orders the dirty cops to kill Wheeler as well.
The problem is Wheeler.
Because he has started asking too many questions and is getting dangerously close to the truth. Before John can do anything, Detective Fusco suddenly appears behind him and points a gun at his head. Fusco captures John and takes him deep into the desert, planning to kill him and bury the evidence forever, but John is far too skilled for that. He manages to escape from Fusco's custody and quickly makes his way back to New York. Meanwhile, the dirty cops are already closing in on Wheeler, and his life is now hanging by a thread. The dirty cops are just about to kill Wheeler and frame a local thug for the murder. Everything is going according to their plan.
You're about to kill a man and his son.
But John arrives at the last second and saves Wheeler before they can pull the trigger. After that, John turns his attention to Hanson. Using secretly recorded conversations, he mixes the recordings in a clever way and exposes her lies. Hanson has no way to defend herself, and her entire plan falls apart. John then meets Detective Fusco. Instead of arresting him, John blackmails him. He tells Fusco that he already knows about all of his dirty work. If Fusco does not start helping him, all of that information will reach the police. Having no other choice, Fusco agrees to become John's man on the inside. A few days later, John steps into an elevator where he meets a man named Bill. Bill is holding a bouquet of flowers, so John asks if they are for his wife. Before Bill can even answer, John tells him that when some women find out their husbands are cheating, they hire killers and make the murder look like a robbery. Just then, John notices two armed men secretly following Bill. He quickly takes both of them down before they can attack. The next day, Harold receives another social security number from the machine. This time, the number belongs to a young girl named Teresa. Harold tells John that this case is very unusual. He takes him to a cemetery and explains that Teresa is officially supposed to be dead. Years ago, Teresa's father was a successful real estate developer, but when the real estate market crashed, he lost everything and went bankrupt. According to the official story, he went insane during a family trip, killed his wife and daughter, and then shot himself. But Harold says the machine never makes mistakes. If Teresa's number has appeared, then she must still be alive.
We'll need a police report on this.
John asks Fusco to secretly get the old police case file. Since Fusco is now working for him, he has no choice but to help. After reading the file, John notices several details that do not make sense. He tells Harold that this was never a murder-suicide. It was a professional hit made to look exactly like one. Harold is surprised and asks how John knows that. John calmly replies that if he had been hired to do the same job, he would have done it in exactly the same way. Using his technology, Harold finally tracks Teresa's location, and John immediately goes after her. However, Teresa quickly realizes that someone is following her. Before John can reach her, she disappears into the crowd and escapes. Later, John visits Harold at the office where he works every day. John is surprised to learn that Harold actually owns the entire company. He simply works there like an ordinary employee, so nobody suspects who he really is.
Software engineer of the month?
John also gives Harold a small electronic device that Teresa accidentally left behind. Harold examines it and discovers that it is a credit card skimmer. The device secretly copies people's bank card information whenever they use an ATM. Meanwhile, John starts asking around the streets to find the man who killed Teresa's family. Soon, he learns that the hitman was a dangerous killer known as Solnik. Luckily, Solnik is already in prison for another crime. John visits him and asks why he did not kill Teresa along with the rest of her family. Solnik says he has one rule that he never breaks. He never kills children. John then asks who hired him, but Solnik says he only met the man once. He was paid in cash, no names were used, and he has no idea who was really behind the contract. A short time later, Teresa tries to sell stolen banking information online. Harold is able to trace the transaction and quickly finds her location.
Teresa just tried to sell those account numbers online.
John reaches Teresa just in time, but before he can safely get her away, a professional assassin suddenly attacks them. John fights back, protects Teresa, and manages to escape with her. He hides her in a hotel where she finally starts telling the truth. Teresa reveals that before her father died, he blamed her uncle Derek for everything that had happened to him. John immediately tracks Derek down and starts investigating him. Soon, he uncovers the shocking truth. Derek secretly worked with two powerful construction businessmen to arrange his own brother's murder. The reason was simple. After Teresa's father died, all of his land would legally pass to Derek. Now the same people want Teresa dead, because if the authorities discover that she is still alive, she will become the legal owner of all that valuable land. John finally tracks down one of the businessmen behind the conspiracy. Without giving him any chance to escape, John crashes a large truck straight into his vehicle, forcing him to stop. He tells the man to cancel the hit on Teresa before it is too late, but the contractor calmly replies that he is already too late because the assassin is already on his way.
It's too late. It's done. It's already done.
Back at the hotel, the assassin quietly searches every room, trying to find Teresa. At the same time, Harold helps Teresa escape through the fire escape at the back of the building. Just when they think they are safe, the assassin spots them and points his gun straight at them. Before he can pull the trigger, John arrives at the perfect moment. Without wasting a second, he shoots the assassin and saves both Harold and Teresa. The next day, John secretly calls Officer Carter and tells her that it is finally time for them to meet. Carter arrives at the meeting place with several undercover officers, hoping to catch the mysterious man she has been searching for. But when they get there, John is already gone. The only person waiting for them is Teresa.
My friend said I could trust you.
Carter takes Teresa to the police station, where she is finally reunited with her aunt. Later, Carter tries to ask Teresa about the man who saved her life. However, Teresa says that everything she went through was so terrifying that she cannot clearly remember the man who helped her. Meanwhile, John visits Harold at his office once again. This time, Harold is working in a completely different office. When John calls him, Harold reminds him that he is a very private person. He tells John never to call him directly again. Instead, Harold will contact him only when it is necessary. Before they can even take a break, the machine sends them another social security number. Their new person of interest is a man named Joey. Harold discovers that Joey is a former soldier who served in the military with great courage. He received several medals for his bravery and was once considered an honorable hero. John begins following Joey to learn more about him.
Guy was a fighter.
Just like you.
Now Joey works as a hotel groom, helping guests with their luggage and welcoming them with a smile. After finishing work, Joey secretly sends a strange text message and leaves the hotel. John quietly follows him. Soon, both of them arrive at a bank. Inside the bank, Joey puts on a mask while his partners begin an armed robbery. John is inside the bank as well, but one of the robbers forces him to stay on the floor, leaving him unable to stop the robbery. A security guard slowly reaches for his gun, but John quietly stops him. He knows that if the guard pulls out his weapon, innocent people could be killed, so he lets the robbers leave without starting a gunfight. After hearing about the robbery, Harold believes they should end the case immediately by handing Joey over to the police before someone loses their life.
Either way, I say we gift wrap him and give him to the NYPD.
But John disagrees. He cannot believe that a soldier who once risked his life for his country would suddenly become a violent criminal. John wants to know what really happened to Joey. As he keeps watching him, John discovers that Joey is part of a group made up of former soldiers. Instead of serving their country, these men now carry out carefully planned bank robberies together. John decides the only way to learn the truth is to go undercover. Using the information he has collected, he creates a fake identity and visits a former army sergeant named Sam, who now owns a bar. John pretends to be a former Marine looking for dangerous work with good money. He even claims that an old Marine friend, who is now dead, once told him to contact Sam if he ever needed a job. A few days later, Harold secretly helps John's plan by arranging for the gang's regular driver to be arrested by the police. With the driver gone, the gang now needs someone to replace him. This creates the perfect chance for John to join the group. Soon, John has his first meeting with Joey and the rest of the team. At the same time, Officer Carter carefully watches the security footage from the bank robbery. While watching the video, she sees a man stopping the security guard from pulling out his gun and realizes that he actually saved lives instead of helping the robbers.
Someone stops him getting his head blown off.
Later, John meets Harold again and shares what he has learned. He tells Harold that Joey does not seem like someone who would murder innocent people. John explains that there is a huge difference between killing during a war and killing innocent civilians. As part of his undercover mission, John continues spending time with Joey. He pretends to meet him by chance and casually asks when their next job will happen. Joey tells him that the decision is not his. Everything depends on Sam because he is the one who gives all the orders. As the days pass, John and Joey slowly become friends. At one point, they even get into a fight with two arrogant bankers, making their friendship seem even more real. After earning Joey's trust, John carefully asks him if he has any children. Joey does not want to talk about his personal life. A few days later, the gang calls John for another mission. At the same time, the police finally identify one of the gang members and begin getting closer to the whole group. This time, the gang attacks an underground gambling house that secretly belongs to the mafia. The robbery is perfectly planned. They grab the money and escape only a few moments before the police arrive. After the successful robbery, Sam starts preparing everyone for another dangerous job. Harold believes they have seen enough.
And keep an eye on the new guy. You might need him going in.
He tells John that it is time to stop the gang before someone gets killed, but John asks for a little more time. By now, he has learned the real reason Joey joined this criminal group. One of the women Joey visits is his girlfriend. The other woman is the wife of Joey's best friend from the army. His friend was killed during the war, leaving behind a wife and a young daughter. Joey promised himself that he would earn enough money to take care of them for the rest of their lives. John realizes Joey is not robbing banks because he is greedy. He is doing it because he wants to help the family of the friend he lost in the war.
So that's your dad?
Soon, the gang receives another mission. This time, they are ordered to steal important evidence from a secure building. Harold uncovers something shocking. He discovers that Sam never planned to share the money with his team. Instead, Sam intends to kill everyone after the job is finished so that no witnesses are left behind. Harold quickly warns John.
Boss says no loose ends, understood?
Just as the gang hands over the stolen case files, Sam suddenly turns his gun on his own men and starts shooting them. John reacts immediately. He manages to save Joey's life and tells him to leave the city before Sam comes after him again. Later, Sam delivers the stolen evidence to an unknown man, but when John tracks him down, he finds Sam already dead. After everything they have been through, Harold decides to visit a doctor. He complains about back pain and asks for some medicine. However, that is not the real reason he is there. The machine has given them another social security number. This time, it belongs to Dr. Megan Tillman. Harold secretly steals her hospital radio so he can monitor her movements more easily and learn what kind of danger she is facing. John begins following Dr. Tillman. He soon notices that she is a very lonely person. Her entire life revolves around work. She spends almost all of her time at the hospital and rarely does anything for herself.
Single, lives alone.
One evening, she finally decides to relax and visits a nightclub. A man immediately starts bothering her, but before things get worse, John quietly steps in and scares the man away. While inside the club, John notices another man named Andrew. Earlier that day, Andrew had accidentally bumped into Dr. Tillman. Now John returns the favor by bumping into Andrew on purpose. During the collision, John secretly discovers that Andrew is carrying illegal drugs. John later talks to the bartender and learns that Dr. Tillman comes to this club alone almost every night. It seems Andrew has become interested in her. The next day, John secretly breaks into Andrew's apartment.
The guy likes to mark his own territory.
He copies all the files from Andrew's computer and brings the information back to Harold. As they go through the files together, they make a disturbing discovery. Andrew is a sexual predator who constantly looks for women he can manipulate and take advantage of. He even has a criminal record from his college days, but somehow that record was officially erased, making it look like he has a completely clean past. Meanwhile, Officer Carter is still investigating the mysterious man from the earlier case. She carefully studies the security footage from the building where the evidence was stolen. While watching the video, one of the robbers briefly talks to Harold before leaving.
And look, little guy says something back, right there.
Even though she cannot hear what they are saying, she realizes the two men clearly know each other. Later that night, John watches Andrew approach Dr. Tillman inside the same nightclub. The two flirt for a while and seem to enjoy talking to each other. After some time, Andrew invites her to his house. Dr. Tillman politely refuses, and Andrew leaves the club alone. But instead of going home, Dr. Tillman secretly follows him. She even uses a camera with a zoom lens to watch his every move from a distance. Seeing this, John immediately calls Harold. He tells him that they were wrong all along. Andrew is not stalking Dr. Tillman. Instead, Dr. Tillman is the one secretly following Andrew. Wanting answers, John asks Fusco to get Andrew's old police records. After reading the file, everything finally starts making sense. Back in college, Andrew was accused of sexually assaulting a young woman. However, the charges were dropped because the victim reported the crime 2 days later, and there was not enough evidence to prove what had happened. Not long after the case was dismissed, the young woman tragically took her own life. The young woman could not live with the pain anymore. That young woman was not just another victim. She was Dr. Tillman's own sister. Now everything finally makes sense. Dr. Tillman is not being hunted by anyone. She's planning to take revenge. The machine gave Harold her social security number because she is about to kill Andrew. Meanwhile, Officer Carter visits Harold and asks him about the robbery at the evidence building. She wants to know what the masked robber said to him.
Do you mind walking me through what happened?
Harold stays calm and lies to her. He says the robber simply told him not to stare at him. At the same time, John continues investigating Dr. Tillman. Soon, he discovers that she has secretly bought enough chemicals to completely dissolve a human body after death. Now, John knows she has carefully planned everything. His first idea is to make Andrew disappear before Dr. Tillman can reach him, so John secretly plants illegal drugs inside Andrew's car and causes a small accident. When the police arrive, they find the drugs and immediately arrest Andrew. John believes Andrew will finally stay behind bars. But the very next day, Andrew is released. John cannot believe it. Fusco simply tells him the truth. Andrew is extremely rich, and he has several expensive lawyers who can get him out of almost any situation. That night, Dr. Tillman decides to take matters into her own hands. She quietly enters Andrew's apartment, shocks him with a taser, injects him with drugs, and places his unconscious body into a wheelchair. She then starts taking him toward her van. But before she can leave, John appears. He calmly tells Dr. Tillman that he already knows who is lying in the back of her van. Instead of stopping her by force, John sits down and talks to her. He reminds her that she has spent her whole life saving people as a doctor. If she kills Andrew today, she may get her revenge, but she will also lose the best part of herself forever.
I know what happens when you take a life.
John tells her that she is not a killer. She is someone who heals people, not someone who takes lives. His words slowly reach her heart. In the end, Dr. Tillman gives up her plan and decides not to become a murderer. Later, John takes Andrew to a quiet place where nobody else is around. The two men have a serious conversation. John admits that he still cannot decide what the right thing is. He wonders if people can truly change after doing terrible things, or are some people simply beyond saving? He also questions whether there are still good people left in the world, or if there are only good choices and bad choices. Finally, John looks at Andrew and tells him that only he can help answer those questions.
I don't think that you're going to kill me.
The scene ends before we learn what decision John makes. A few days later, the machine gives Harold another social security number. This time, it belongs to a respected judge named Samuel Gates. Judge Gates serves in the Supreme Court and has built a reputation for being completely fair. He is also known for being very strict on criminals. Because of that, he has made many dangerous enemies over the years. John starts following Judge Gates to protect him. Soon he notices several suspicious men watching the judge. One of them looks ready to attack. John prepares himself for a fight, but instead of pulling out a weapon, the man simply takes out his phone, sends a text message, and throws the phone into a nearby dumpster. John quickly picks up the phone and reads the message. The text talks about Samuel's son finishing school. At that moment, John realizes something important. They have been protecting the wrong Samuel Gates all along.
I think we've been following the wrong Sam Gates.
The real target is not the judge, it is his son. At that exact moment, a group of kidnappers attacks Samuel's son and tries to force him into a vehicle. John rushes in and fights them. He knocks down several kidnappers and almost saves the boy. But during the fight, one of the criminals suddenly pulls out a gun and shoots John, and he collapses to the ground unconscious. Taking advantage of the situation, the kidnappers escape with the judge's son. Soon afterward, Judge Gates receives a phone call. The kidnappers tell him that they have his son. They order him to wait for further instructions and warn him not to contact the police or tell anyone about the kidnapping. The judge is completely heartbroken. Even though John is wounded, he decides to help. He approaches Judge Gates and introduces himself. The judge immediately asks who he is. John simply replies that he is someone who wants to help bring his son home safely. John explains that the kidnappers will keep the boy alive as long as they still need him.
Which one do you want to focus on?
Together, they head to the judge's house to figure out what happened. Judge Gates cannot understand one thing. His home had a high-security alarm system, so how did the kidnappers manage to get inside without anyone noticing? John tells Judge Gates not to panic. He asks him to wait for the kidnapper's next phone call while he investigates the case on his own. John then heads to the nanny's house because he believes she may know something important. On the way, Harold stays in touch with him over the phone. Harold is trying to hack into the phone company's system so he can trace the kidnapper's call, but for now, he is unable to break through their security. When John reaches the nanny's house, he finds something shocking. The nanny is already dead. John quickly realizes what happened. After getting the information they needed, they killed her to remove the only witness. Soon after, Harold helps John locate one of the suspicious men they had seen earlier. John catches him, beats him until he talks, and knocks him unconscious. While checking his body, John notices a tattoo on the man's chest. The tattoo belongs to a dangerous gang called SP9. Harold explains that SP9 originally came from Eastern Europe, but now they have expanded into many other countries, including the United States.
They also run kidnappings in Warsaw.
That night, the kidnappers call Judge Gates again. This time, they finally reveal what they want. They are not asking for money. Instead, they order the judge to make sure a woman named Angela is found not guilty in her upcoming trial. If Angela walks free, they promise to return his son alive. After the call ends, Judge Gates explains that Angela's case seems simple. She is accused of hitting a man with her car and then leaving the scene without helping him. Meanwhile, Harold continues digging into the SP9 gang. He discovers that the gang has become a huge international criminal organization with operations in nearly 18 countries. The next day, Judge Gates enters the courtroom to hear Angela's case. He secretly tries to help her without making it obvious. At the same time, he delays the final decision as much as possible, hoping John can rescue his son first. But the gang leader calls him and warns him to stop wasting time. Even then, Judge Gates refuses to rush the case. He says he will only make his decision the proper legal way. While this is happening, John questions the gang member he captured earlier. After a rough interrogation, the man finally gives him the address of the place where gang members collect their payments. John goes there immediately. Inside, he finds nearly $500,000 in cash. After taking down the guards protecting the money, he begins searching for more clues. At the same time, Harold secretly listens to Angela's phone conversation with the gang leader. As he listens, everything suddenly becomes clear. Angela works at a bank that has special software designed to detect money laundering. However, every morning she secretly turns that system off for a few minutes. During those few minutes, the SP9 gang safely moves millions of dollars through the banking system without being detected. That is the real reason they need Angela to stay out of prison.
And Unless you know someone who can do what I do, our deal stands.
The next day, Harold goes undercover inside the bank. Pretending to be an employee, he secretly copies important files from the bank's computer servers. Meanwhile, John continues searching for Judge Gates's son. He raids the location where he believed the boy was being held, but when he gets there, the place is completely empty. The kidnappers have already moved him somewhere else. With no news about his son and no other choice left, Judge Gates is forced to make his ruling. In front of the entire courtroom, he declares Angela not guilty on all charges. Soon after, the gang leader calls the judge once again. He tells him to come alone if he wants to see his son. But John already knows it is a trap. The gang has no intention of keeping its promise. They are planning to kill both the judge and his son.
If you want your son back, come alone.
When Judge Gates arrives at the meeting point, the gang members bring his son in front of him and cruelly tell him to say his final goodbye. Just then, John suddenly appears. He is not alone. He also brings Angela with him. John exposes the entire truth in front of everyone. Realizing that their secret has been exposed, the gang leader understands that the whole operation is finished. With nothing left to lose, he orders his men to kill everyone. A massive gunfight breaks out. John fights back with his usual skill and takes down one criminal after another. In the end, the gang members are defeated. Judge Gates and his son are finally safe and the criminals lose everything. After the case is over, Harold secretly hands all the evidence to a lawyer. With solid proof against her, when the police arrive at the scene, they find Angela tied up along with the gang members. From the outside, it looks like she is just another victim, so the police arrest the criminals while Angela is also taken into custody for questioning. Soon, the machine gives Harold and John another new social security number.
I suppose only time will tell which one of us is right.
This time, John has to work undercover again. He pretends to be a professional driver so he can get close to a woman named Zoe Morgan. When John arrives, Zoe is careful and does not trust him right away. She immediately calls the driving company to confirm whether they really sent her a new driver. Luckily, Harold answers the phone before anyone else can. Satisfied with the answer, Zoe gets into the car. John drives her to a quiet location where she secretly buys a handgun from a man. At first, John believes something illegal is going on, but later, after secretly entering Zoe's apartment, he finds another gun already hidden inside. John tells Harold that this changes everything. The only reason someone would buy a second gun is if they need one that cannot be traced back to them. After that, Zoe changes into different clothes, and John drives her to a fancy event. Still suspicious, John quietly follows her inside. There, Zoe meets a high-ranking police officer and hands him the gun she had just bought. As John secretly listens to their conversation, the truth finally comes out. A police officer had accidentally lost his service weapon. Instead of reporting it and creating a huge problem, Zoe secretly bought another identical gun to replace it. She was simply doing a favor for money.
You owe me one.
Later, John drives Zoe back to her apartment. Before leaving, she tells him to come back the next morning at exactly 10 o'clock. On the way back, Harold asks John what he thinks about Zoe. John explains that Zoe is a fixer. She has helped many powerful people over the years. That also means she has made plenty of dangerous enemies who might want her dead. Meanwhile, Officer Carter starts investigating another case. The police discover the dead body of a man who had once been the main suspect in the murder of a woman named Marlene Elias. John and Harold realize that this is the same case whose files were stolen during the earlier mission. Carter contacts the detective who originally investigated Marlene's murder. The detective explains everything. Marlene worked as a waitress in a nightclub owned by a powerful mafia boss. The mafia boss secretly had an affair with her. Eventually, Marlene wanted him to leave his wife and marry her instead. The mafia boss got tired of her demands, so he hired a hitman to murder her.
He did. Permanently.
Even though the killer was arrested, the mafia boss used his influence to buy the case, allowing the murderer to walk free. Marlene and the mafia boss had a son together. Now they believe that this son may have stolen the old case files and killed the original suspect to finally uncover the truth about his mother's murder. At the same time, Zoe suddenly finds herself in serious danger. A powerful businessman named Mark Lawson starts hunting her. Mark is the heir to a huge pharmaceutical company. Earlier, he hired Zoe to recover a secret recording that exposed his illegal affair. After getting the recording back, Mark murdered the reporter who had filmed it. Now Zoe is the only remaining witness. To erase all evidence, Mark decides to kill her as well. Luckily, John arrives just in time and saves Zoe before Mark's men can reach her.
He isn't paying you to do more than drive.
Harold starts his own investigation. Pretending to be a major shareholder, Harold manages to arrange a meeting with Mark inside the pharmaceutical company. As Harold digs deeper, he discovers that Mark's crimes go far beyond having an affair. The woman Mark murdered was preparing to expose a massive scandal involving one of the company's new drugs. She had uncovered dangerous information that could destroy the entire company.
She was threatening to blow the whistle on him.
To keep the truth hidden, Mark decided to silence her forever. Knowing there must be more evidence, John and Zoe secretly break into the company's headquarters. Inside, they access the main computer and recover several deleted files. Harold carefully studies the recovered data. Soon he uncovers a horrifying secret. The company's new drug has an extremely high death rate. Out of every 200 patients who tested the medicine, 6 died.
They're all dead, Mr. Reese.
That means the drug has a 3% mortality rate, making it far too dangerous to be approved for public use. Even worse, almost everyone who participated in the clinical trials is now dead. Harold realizes this cannot be a coincidence. It appears the company paid powerful officials to hide the failed test results and secretly push the drug through the approval process, putting countless innocent lives at risk. Unfortunately, John and Zoe are caught by Mark's men and tied up.
How did you know I was going to be in trouble?
Mark is about to kill them, but Zoe quickly tells him that she has already emailed a copy of the report to someone she trusts.
I emailed a copy to a friend.
Hearing this, Mark changes his plan and agrees to spare her if she takes him to the person who has the report. Before they leave, Zoe tells John that he should never have trusted her. However, while saying this, she secretly slips a paperclip into his hand. As soon as everyone leaves, John uses it to free himself, knocks out the guard, and rushes to save Zoe. At the same time, Harold makes all the evidence public, exposing the pharmaceutical company's crimes. The scandal destroys the company, and those responsible are finally forced to pay for what they did. After everything is over, John and Zoe say goodbye. Before leaving, John tells her to stay out of trouble. Zoe smiles and replies that, for someone like her, that is simply not possible. And with this scene, the story comes to an end.